if you put every child in a room, or all children in a room from different races, different religions, different ways of life, they will play with each other. There's no prejudices. Children are not born with prejudices. Children are not born with hatred or anything like that.
This is Chocolate and Coffee Break, a compassionate proposition, a space to share stories, bridge divides, and spark meaningful connections. So grab your chocolate, pour your cuppa, and let's break down barriers, one conversation at a time. And now, here's your host, Andrea Putting.
And welcome to another episode of Chocolate and Coffee. And I hope you've got your chocolate and your cuppa ready and you're ready to share with us another story which will inspire you. So today I've been thinking about watching my grandchildren and noticing how generally they can be very kind and compassionate towards each other and to other children. And I thought, where do they unlearn that? What happens so that they stop doing that? Because that's who they naturally are. So I thought, well, maybe they're unlearning it from us, from what they see, how we speak, what we choose to do or not to do. And maybe we're getting a bit selfish and that's what we're teaching them. So it makes me wonder if there's something else we can do that. My guest today has been focusing on how we can encourage kindness and compassion starting with children, not in a big complicated way, but in a way that can be lived every day. Now, in his work, he has focused on not trying to change, instead of trying to change the whole world, he's been focusing on one person at a time. So I'm very pleased to have Peter on the show today, Peter Nicholls, and I'm sure we're going to have a great conversation about all sorts of things. So welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Andrea, for having me, and good morning or good evening to all of your listeners and friends out there. Thank you.
So I like to start the show with heart opener question. And today it is, what do children understand about kindness that adults seem to forget?
Children, I love working with children. They're very, very simple, uncomplicated. If you put every child in a room, or all children in a room from different races, different religions, different ways of life, they will play with each other. There's no prejudices. Children are not born with prejudices. Children are not born with hatred or anything like that. It's something that is not necessarily taught to them. Sometimes it is taught to them, but adults complicate their lives by putting those, whether it's hatreds, whether it's their religious beliefs or whatever, into the children, and it overcomplicates things. Make it simple. Be like a child. Keep it simple and love everybody for who they are, not whether it's race, not whether it's colour, and not whether it's religion.
Yes, and I do see that, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and I could share probably many stories myself, but that's going to take us off the track. So where have you seen that most clearly come alive?
It was a light bulb moment for myself on a trip to Papua New Guinea with my daughter, a missionary trip when she was in year 9. At her age, she would not share a straw with her younger brother. We went to Papua New Guinea, a little village called Buna, at the end of the Kokoda track. No power, no running water, electricity, no toilets. And to see my daughter after 3 or 4 days sharing both her flute with the children, teaching them how to play the flute, running around carrying these very, very, very black twins as well, and not being fazed by it all. It completely changed her life, and it completely changed my thinking process about not trying to change the world, but just one at a time. And that was my daughter changing her thinking and her way of life, and then bringing that back and then looking at it and just changing. It's that ripple effect, just changing one at a time. And that, I think, is to be done through children. We adults are probably too set in our ways, but children are the ones that can lead the way and show us how to be better people and get along with everybody.
And they certainly do. I think we've got a lot to learn just from watching children in play.
Yes.
So you wrote a book about kindness for children, CC, the Caring Cow, the Kindness Adventure. And now I'm thinking, did you write this for the children or for the adults reading it?
It was both, actually. It was both, because the some of the children, of course, won't be able to read it. It's for the adults to read to their children, but then for them to remember that it's quite simple to be nice to other people. Whether you're a Christian or not, or whatever your belief is, there's one commandment that I live my life by, and that is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And that is, I'm not going to do anything wrong by you, so please don't do anything wrong by me. And that's what the book is all about. It's breaking it right down. It is very simplistic. It's done in a poetry type way. After each little poem, there's a question for the adults to ask the children, but it's also them asking themselves about what act of kindness did they do today? Did they make any new friends? How did they assist old people? And CC, the Caring Cow, of course, has her best friend Biz the Bee, and Biz is hiding on every page for the children to see. And it's just, hopefully it will instill in children what is already there, but reinforce it, but also, yes, Andrea, it is written for adults to read as well too, and to take those messages with them.
Yes, and I really appreciate it, because I was reading it thinking, all right, we need to look at one page a day, I think, and just really make that our day's goal is to live that message today. And I think it'd be a wonderful thing for kids to have at school, the schools to be using this story. So why did you start writing a children's book, Peter?
I have a charity, and we build schools and look after communities, remote communities in Papua New Guinea, the Philippines and Vietnam. It was a simplistic way of also raising money for the charity in a nice way, but bringing that awareness to children and adults of what the charity does. It really is what the charity does through the eyes of CC, the Caring Cow. My hope is that it will be translated into many languages worldwide and spread the word about just change the one. People say, but what can we do? It's not that difficult. When you have a cup of coffee in a cafe, don't leave it sitting on the table when you're finished. Take the empty cup back to the counter and say thank you. That makes such a difference in their life. You will get a very surprised look from people when you take that coffee cup back and say thank you very much and then leave. It's the ripple effect. It is. It's just change the one. The world is a huge place, a huge place. No, we can't change every problem, but by just focusing on one at a time. And hopefully that book is just one child, one adult at a time as they're reading the book.
Yes, and I think it's such an important message to get through, because people do get so caught up in, oh, the problems of the world are so big, I'm just one person, I can't do anything. But there is so much that we can do. There is so much we can do just by those little acts of kindness, and we don't know where they're going to ripple out to, do we?
And it doesn't have to be a monetary thing. It can be just taking that cup of coffee back, or going and seeing your mum and dad and weeding their garden or cutting their lawn. It's just doing that one thing. It's just giving back, and you will get it back tenfold. That wonderful, overwhelming feeling of giving back is a very powerful thing. You will grow 6 inches. Seriously, you will grow 6 inches with that feeling of, wow, I just did some good, and it doesn't have to cost you any money.
No, and it doesn't. You can just be good and to be kind and generous to other people.
Yes.
So let's take a little chocolate break because, it's that time of morning. And watch to see who our sponsors are, and why not subscribe to the channel while you're there? That would be awesome.
When I hit perimenopause, all I heard was doom and decline until I took a sacred pause and I went searching for women who are radiant after menopause, like Dr. Christiane Northrup, Dr. Vandana Shiva, and the late Dr. Gladys McGarry, still shining at 103. In this book, I share their stories and wisdom and the magic that menopause truly holds. 7 Wonders of Menopause is a sacred reminder. You're not ending, you're returning. Available at independent bookshops in Australia and Amazon around the world.
Did you know that only 30% of speakers are women and that only 13% of panels feature women? In order to change that, there is now a directory at womenspeakers.com.au where you can go and search for a speaker. We also have groups on Facebook and LinkedIn under the name Australian Women Speakers, where you can just go and post about your event and women will respond.
And we're here today with Peter Nicholls, and we're talking about how you can change the world by changing one person. So, Peter, you started a charity called Change the One. So would you like to just give us a really brief overview of what you do with that?
Certainly. As I said, it came about when I went to Papua New Guinea with my daughter. They were sitting on dirt floors in the classroom. We came back and I suggested to Teal that we put on a concert with her school, which we did. We raised enough money to build 2 classrooms and 3 teachers' quarters. Something I've learnt over the years that I've been doing it now is poverty is self-perpetuating. If you don't have education, you do not have a chance to move on. Also, but it's not providing education in the Australian way. It's finding out what they need in their own environment, providing the education in their own village, in their own surrounds, giving them the opportunity to choose, I want to go on to further education, or I want to be a tree lopper or a rice farmer like my dad. But without education, they are stuck. So it's grown from there. We are now a fully registered charity. We work in Vietnam, Papua New Guinea, and the Philippines. Our main focus is on education, but we do a lot of things. I've just come back from Vietnam. We've put in 2 water filtration systems because the remote Indigenous people, the ethnic minority groups, are drinking contaminated water, which is just appalling in this day and age. Putting the water filtration system in not only gives them fresh water, it mitigates the need for them to buy plastic water bottles. These are not recyclable. They're just thrown into the environment. So it's helping the environment as well too. And it's just giving children the opportunity to do what they want to do. That's our main focus. We also support a special needs facility for children with severe disabilities, and that's nappies or food and rental for their property. And I base the charity around no one gets paid, I don't get paid, the committee don't get paid, so 100% of the money raised goes to those in need. We don't have any administration costs. Everybody donates their time, their talent, their money, whether it's the graphic designer, the accountant, the printer, they all donate their time because that's how they want to be able to give back.
That's wonderful, and it certainly is an amazing thing that you're doing. So when you go into these communities, what stands out to you straight away? What's the first thing that hits you?
They don't ask for anything. They are so happy with what they have, but technology, even though they're remote, and they don't have internet a lot of times. Sometimes they don't even have electricity, but they do go into the bigger towns. So where technology has been wonderful, it's also detrimental in a way, because it can create envy. It can create a sense of helplessness in that, oh, look at what other people have got, look at what we don't have. And it's a wonderful feeling to go in to see what these people need and help them grow in, as I said, in their own environment. That to me is a wonderful feeling, to be welcomed back and to be spoilt rotten, whether it's being given honey or peppercorns, all things that unfortunately I can't bring back to Australia, but to be gifted these things, to go into someone's house, they're subsistence farmers with an acre of rice, and to be given the last custard apple off the tree to sit there and have that with them. They share everything they have, but don't ask for anything. They need so much, but they don't ask for anything. And that to me is, I grew up in a very small country town and in South Gippsland, and I was coming back from a very remote area one time. It had been so hot. It was just an awful trip, 13 hours on the back of a motorbike. And I was going through a little village and I thought, why have I fallen in love with Vietnam? And then you see all the little tiny plastic stools that they sit on out in front of the shop. In front of the shop on the footpath during the day, that's part of their work area. During the afternoon and evening, that's where they have dinner. That's where they meet with their family, their friends. And I looked at it and I went, it's community. It's still community. It's everyone looking after themselves, helping each other. And that's what I grew up with in South Gippsland. And that's why I love it so much, because everybody knows each other. Everybody's helping each other. If there's a wedding or an engagement, everybody goes along to it and celebrates that as well too. That's why I fell in love with these remote areas and the wonderful people that are there.
So what do you think it is that they can teach us? Because clearly there are things that we have all these layers of things, and their life is completely different to us. What can they teach us, even though they have so little?
Again, go back to basics. Go back to looking after each other. Go back to sharing things. I say to people in any talks that I do, I say to people, I don't want you to feel bad about having 3 televisions, 2 cars and a boat. You've worked hard. We live in Australia. That's the wonderful opportunity that we have. But just remember about your neighbour. Go and say hello to your neighbour. Check on your neighbour, the people across the road. Go back to being a community again of human beings, not individuals. Let's be a community, a worldwide community. Stop all this fighting and what have you. We are all human beings. We all want to have a good life. Let's just look after each other and be friends. That's what it is. Be friends with each other. It is really, really simple. It's not difficult. Have the money, but you can have all the money in the world and not have your health. You can have all the money in the world and not have any friends. Have the friends, look after each other, and just be kind to each other.
Yeah, so important. So what do you think kids are picking up from us these days about life and about how we live our life and how they'll live their life when they become adults?
As I said, technology is a wonderful thing. Get kids off their tablets, get them out playing sports, get them out joining clubs and guides and all of those things that we used to do growing up, both in the city and the country, and just sharing their lives, just go fishing, go bushwalking, get away from the TVs and what have you. I don't like... A lot of people have problems, yes, but we put labels on people. Why do we need to have labels for everything? ADHD, DHD, TNT, it doesn't matter what it is. Please stop labeling people. The label that we have is a human being.
Yes.
There are people that need assistance in a special way, yes, but if we stop labeling people and just treat people with respect and look at them for the benefit that they can. How can they help us? How can we help them? Everybody has got something to offer. It doesn't matter their disabilities. It doesn't matter their schooling, their education, their religion. Everybody has something to offer. Let's learn from each other and stop all this ridiculous fighting. Stop being adults. Be kids again. Be kids.
Well, let's be kids again and enjoy some chocolate. So let's have another chocolate break and watch our sponsors who help to keep this show going.
Introducing 123 Read to Me. We give books to children who don't have books so they can succeed. Help us give away books to supported playgroups, kindergartens, schools, community events. Come and sort books. Donate money. $5 equals one book in the hand of a child. Because just one book a day creates clever, kind and confident kids. 123 Read to Me. If this interests you, let's talk.
You've ticked the boxes: career, commitments, a calendar that's more packed than your pantry, but something's still missing. In Compassionate Purpose, Andrea Putting invites you to stop chasing busy and start living with intention. This book is about real fulfillment through small acts of compassion, purpose-driven service and meaning that last. No pressure, no perfection, just purpose with heart. Compassionate Purpose, Discovering a Life of Fulfillment. Search for Andrea Putting on Amazon.
And we're here with Peter Nicholls, and we're talking about making sure that children understand something special about how important kindness is, and for us adults to learn it too. So, Peter, I'd love for you to share with us a story about maybe one of the stories that you've helped somebody with change, the one that's really impactful for you.
I'll go back to the first trip to Papua New Guinea. Eutychus, the youngest son of our host family. There was two sons, Monty, he was the older son of 17. Eutychus was 15. Monty, all he wanted to do was smoke dope and chew betel nuts, and he's probably still doing that 15 years later. Eutychus, because we provided the facilities for the school, the teachers wanted to go there. Because the teachers were there and the facilities were better, the students wanted to go to school. Eutychus then finished school in Buna. He went on to Popondetta, to the biggest town, for further education. He then went to Port Moresby, and he is now the top Italian chef in Port Moresby. So that's a wonderful story. He calls me his Papa Pete, and that's a wonderful story of a kid that lived in an ideal situation with his family and everything, but in absolute poverty. As I said, no electricity, no toilets, no running water, and now he is in his 30s. The top Italian chef in Port Moresby, because he was able to study and use the facilities that we provided for him. And so far we've built 9 schools, and we're continuing to grow those numbers to avail the kids, both and also the adults too, so they can go back to learning as well too if they want to.
Yeah, and that's so important, and it just shows you that given the opportunity, children can do and become anything that's in their heart. And that's a really important thing, that we make sure that children have that opportunity. We talked about before about what people can do, what we as adults can do to help change to make that difference every day in what we do. But what does that look like with a child day to day?
Again, it's just a matter of instilling in the children what they're doing naturally, and that's playing together and sharing things. There'll be fights, there'll be arguments. My 2 grandchildren, one will have the toy and then the other one wants it. So it's a matter of the parents instilling in the children that they need to share. Yes, you can have that toy after 5 minutes or whatever it is. So children, to keep that value, and that comes from continuing in interacting with other children, not just sitting on their tablets or sitting at home, but being involved in sports, team sports, being involved in activities such as scouts and guides and what have you. It's a huge commitment for parents. Yes, I had 2 children on my own at the time, and I was in the car all the time between basketball, gymnastics, karate, and what have you. If children continue doing those, it's habit forming, and they will continue that right through their life, into their work life, into their adult life, and then instill that into their children as well too. Not be selfish about things, but just to learn to share.
Yeah, and I think it's important for children to be involved in whatever you're volunteering in as well, and to see you volunteering for roles that in the community that support and make a difference. I think that makes a big difference. And what do you want children growing up now to believe about the world?
I want them to believe that it is a beautiful place, that look, there's so many problems in the world. I don't know enough about environmental changes, the wars overseas and what have you. We get bogged down on so many adult problems that come about through greed, through envy, through whatever. As I said earlier, let's take it back to basics. Let's be kids and just get along with each other. If the children can do that and bring that forward over the next 10, 15, 20 years, then hopefully we won't have the problems that we're facing now, because they realise that we all do have to get along to make this world work, to make it a better place.
Absolutely. And I think that's what we're both trying to do, is because Chocolate and Coffee Break is very much about changing the one, making that difference for one person. So we're right there on the same page with that. And I think that's a really important thing for us to continue. So each week on the show, I do a Brew the Change challenge for people. And so this week it is to... Hang on. This week, let a child see you choose kindness. Not something you tell them to do, something they see you do. A conversation, a moment, a small act. And talk to them about kindness. Share what it is that's important, so that they know that being together and crossing cultures and other barriers that we see as adults don't exist. So making that point that children need to see beautiful things from adults happening. So Peter, I'd love for you to share now, where can people find this amazing book that comes with these two very cute creatures?
They're on our website, which is www.changetheone, all one word, all lowercase, changetheone.org. All of the money raised goes to, as I said, building new schools, helping those people less fortunate than us. We're hoping that this book works and it does go worldwide. I have another 6 books that I've written that are ready to go: Vietnam Adventures, Australian Adventures, Philippine Adventures. Again, all about acts of kindness and what the charity has done through the eyes of CC, the caring cow. So if people can go to the website, the shop is on the website. It will take them straight to the shop. They can purchase the book, the cow, the bee, or the whole 3 together, and everything goes to make a difference in the world and change the one.
And it's fabulous. And my granddaughter will be very pleased to know that she can now have these, because she saw them and said, "Can we have those?" And I go, "Not yet."
Not yet.
So I'm looking forward to sharing them fully with her very soon, and I'm sure that she'll just enjoy the whole story in the books. So thank you so much, Peter, for coming along and sharing with us about making a difference by changing the one and teaching our children to follow. And so that's all we have time for today. And thank you, everyone, for sharing with us. And don't forget to always let love be the loudest voice.